Recording.
Hey everybody, I want to introduce you to my audience. This is my mom, my dad, my brother's manning the camera. So I want to wash my hands real quick because I'm doing food. Alright. I'm going to teach you guys today how to make a banana dessert. This is a really special dessert to me because it was passed down from my grandma to my mother, and my mother has taught it to me. So today this is what we're going to be learning about. I've already kind of got this stuff for the crust put together. In here you have 10 tablespoons of melted butter, which is going into half of a cup of sugar and 2.5 cups of your crust. So you mix that in here. You don't want to ruin a bowl. Make another one dirty. And then you just take a mixer and you mix. Get the crust all good. You want it moist. And then you're going to press it all the way down on the bottom because you don't want any mixture that's not wet. I'm going to go ahead and grab a fork as well because that also helps to get everything moistened. So, you grab a fork real quick. And we just start pressing. You can also start using your hands anytime. I just try to wait until the end. It just makes it a little bit easier for me. My hands don't get all gunky. So now what you want to do is you want to kind of just take your hands and press it all the way at the bottom. Make sure you get it pretty even. I know sometimes it's not that easy. This is a really, really fun dish. I remember having Sunday dinners at my family's house in Oregon where everybody would come and show up. There'd be a huge dessert that we would have, and so this is something I really enjoyed learning from my mother. Okay, so now that we basically have our crust done, we're going to move on to the next step. The next step is your cream cheese mix, which is a mixture of powdered sugar, cream cheese, and Cool Whip. So you want that to be on the bottom because that holds your crust together. This part's really important because there's not really a set measurement that you use. So you just kind of go by what you think and by look. So you want to start out with this. You want to get a spoon. It's still a little frozen, but that's not a problem. You just kind of put, a couple big spoons in there. You can always add more. It's not a very big deal. Your powdered sugar, you want to put a little bit more in there because you kind of want this to help smoothen it out. So just kind of start with a little bit, and if you need to, add a little bit more, kind of like your Cool Whip. So with this, I'm going to take my beater, and I'm going to start this. It's going to take a few minutes, and it gets a little bit loud. And a little messy. So don't worry about it. If you get messy at home, I do the same thing. You want to keep scraping the sides of the bowl. A little bit more powdered sugar because it's still a little too thick for me. You want it to be really, really creamy. It shouldn't have any lumps or anything to it, so if it does, you know you're going to need one of the two extra ingredients, which it's either going to be powdered sugar or the Cool Whip, but I mean, you can't go wrong with either one. That's why this is such an easy dessert to make. Just continue to kind of try to scrape the sides, because that's your biggest thing, is getting every little bit into it. Okay, a little bit more Cool Whip, and then it will be definitely good to go. Just get that off that spoon. It's still a little bit frozen, like I said, and I'm getting food all over me. Probably should have worn apron for this, but okay. Alright, so if you bring the camera over here, you can check out the consistency that you're going to be looking for. And like I said, there is no set measurement, so you can't really say a specific amount of any ingredient, because it's really just what you put in there and how you mix it up and what it looks like. The taste of it. You definitely want to try it. I'm not going to do that this time, as I'm showing you guys that, but my family always loves when I make this dessert, so I don't really think that they're going to complain too much. Alright, so now what we want to do is we just want to take this and we're going to spread that cream cheese mix over this crust. And you want to get every little bit. You want everything in there, because you want it a good mix on there, evenly spread. And it doesn't have to be a really thick layer, because not everybody really likes the cream cheese taste, but when you put all the ingredients and the layers on it, it's such a good mixture of flavor. There's not just one specific taste that you're gonna find. So this can be a little bit more difficult getting spread on here, because it is a little bit thicker. So you're gonna just want to go through and kind of try to get it up to the corner, and if you kind of mix a little bit of the crust in with it, it's not a big deal. The crust, should harden up, especially once you put it in the fridge, because there's definitely going to be leftovers no matter what you do, unless you're feeding a whole army. Okay, so while we're doing this, and actually I can have my mother from the audience do this while I get started on the pudding. There you go, Mom. Hands clean. You put this away. You always want to clean up your areas. My mom always taught me that. You just pick up after yourself. It's a lot easier to clean up at the end. Okay, so now we're going to do this pudding. This is really simple. I mean, you follow the instructions on the box. There's not much to it. This is 2 cups of cold milk right here. Dump it into vanilla pudding. Instant, cold vanilla pudding. Take your beater. You're going to do this for 2 minutes like it says. So it's pretty thick. I mean, it doesn't have to be like super thick. It'll thicken up as well. Just letting it sit. Okay, so before you do that, put this to the side, kind of letting it thick up, and you get your bananas. I've already pre-sliced. I've taken 3 bananas, and you get them. You don't have to have them the exact same size on each one, but you just want to go through the entire pan and just kind of line it. You want these to be on the layer underneath your pudding because your fruit will come up to the top, and that's when it turns brown. So if you don't want your fruit to turn brown in a dessert, try to put it under a layer because it keeps it protected. It's almost like this natural barrier. That's the little tip I've kind of learned in my 25 years. So you just go through here, and this is kind of the thing that takes a little bit more time. You just gotta line it all the way across and all the way through. And if you have extra, that's totally cool. You can either reline it or you can just give it to the kids because kids love bananas. Most kids anyway. And again, if you don't have enough, you know, you try to use 3, but sometimes you never know. You might get a small banana here or there. You're gonna have to use 4. Also, this is another way you can do this is you can make it like a strawberry dessert. Instead of the bananas, you just put a strawberry glaze, and you know, you chop up your strawberries real thin like this, kind of mix that up, and you put that on top of here, and then you put the Cool Whip and the pudding on that. Even you don't even have to put the pudding on that, so that just makes it a real strawberry, almost like a strawberry pie. So there's different ways you can do this. I mean, you can experiment, you can check with other different kinds of fruit. My family's just always been the banana strawberry dessert kind. And I probably won't have enough to fully line this pan, which is totally fine. I'm not going to worry about that this time. So I'm just going to finish using this and get it done. I mean, it's not even a real pattern. You just line it. Try to make them fit if you can. My mom's over here chopping up another banana for me so that way I can finish lining the pan.
No banana left behind.
No banana left behind, I guess. Okay. Alright, guys. So let's finish. I think I got cream cheese on my face. These are really good bananas too. I just bought them today. They were like just put out fresh, so this would be like a really great dessert. And just keep going through. There we go. Alrighty. So there we have it. We've got it all lined. Now we need to put in our pudding, which is right here, and it's thickened up way more, which is what will happen. I'm gonna grab a spoon right here. Like to use clean utensils, obviously. You don't ever want to use dirty utensils or anything. And this is just going to be a really thin layer. I mean, you can double up the batch if you want. It doesn't have to be super thick, like I said. I mean, there's so many layers that you get a really good taste of everything, and so it's not overpowering. I think the more pudding you put in there, the more overpowering it would definitely come out to be. So I mean, and you can always use banana pudding too. That would just make it more banana-y. I like the vanilla pudding, so this is just my take on it. But anyway, okay, so we'll just lightly layer all this, which is perfect. And now we can finish up with the Cool Whip topping. That's really generally simple. You don't even have to have instructions for that. I mean, it's going to look like this with Cool Whip. So there you have it. This is my speech on how to make a banana dessert. I appreciate everybody tuning in to my speech, and I hope you all have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you.